we're here to tell you about a new generation of AI-first experiences. So I cannot start this part of the presentation with telling you a story. So I wanted to go do a little bit of a recap when we think about user experience between humans and computers. So when personal computing started, I think you probably remember we all had an ASCII keyboard. We have all those characters, and we type, and that's how we interface with a computer. Then something incredible happened, the mouse, and that all of a sudden the computer interface became a graphical user interface, and we could now interact with the graphical user interface. You know, when smartphone arrived, we saw an interesting thing happen with the smartphone revolution. You had the intersection of 3 points. They were very important. One point is, and that's something that Qualcomm did, we brought broadband to a mobile phone. That was 4G. On top of it, the phone became a computer. That's how Snapdragon was born. It became a computer. And then you have a different user interface. It was touch. If you look at those 3 things combined, and it was the user interface change, the computing, and broadband, we saw what happened. There was a big change in computing, and phone became a new computing space, like we had laptops. We're about to see the next big change. The most interesting thing for Snapdragon about Gen AI. Yes, it's incredible what you see with those models, and you can ask any questions, but there's another thing beyond having well-trained models on different tasks and help you do your everyday tasks. There's something else. Computers now can understand the language of humans. Computers can now communicate like humans communicate. And what that does, it changes how we think about the experience that you have on computing and the experience you have on Snapdragon. And that's, I think, my first part of the presentation today. I want to show you this vision, how fundamentally, how we think about applications and user experience is about to change in a big way with Gen AI, and that's one of the key focus of Snapdragon now and into the future. So we have this construct that we're now very used to with it, which is an app-centric experience. Like going back to telling you stories, we used to call what you bring to your computer like a program. But because of the smartphone revolution, we start talking about apps. And that's what we have today. We have this construct of app, and we have an app-centric experience. And if we think about what we do it, in all the different applications and use cases we have on our phones, we have that on the PC as well, things that we get to the App Store, we get to the browser. But that is changing because each application and use case now has the potential to be changed how we think about AI, as now the machines can understand human language. So that's going to be completely redefined, and we're going to see new experiences. I call that going to be the evolution of apps. That's this construct that we're familiar with is about to change. And it's going to change in a way that is easier to think about it. Why? This is not about one killer app. This is how every single app and experience is going to change. And I'm going to walk you through some examples. But I want to start, before I walk you through some examples, I had some interesting conversations even yesterday about people asked me the question, what is the killer app on AI? What is the killer Gen AI app on a phone? It's one way to think about it, but I don't think that's the only way to think about it, because it would be the same thing that you asking what would be the killer app when the smartphone was launched. What was it? And all of a sudden it was 10 apps, 100 apps, 1,000 apps, hundreds of thousands of apps. So the way we are thinking about this future is there will be apps are simply going to change. And they're going to change, and they're going to be new apps. They're not being created. But I think once we see this future, I think we will understand it is not about one killer app coming this year or next year, but the transition that is now right in front of our eyes. And that's what I said at the beginning of the presentation. I have conviction that's the future. I just can't precise the timing. But with that, let me show you what I'm talking about, so I make this less abstract. Okay, so think about a banking app. I'm sure everyone in this room has a banking app. So a developer wrote this app, and the developer was thinking, for all of these people that are a client of this bank, maybe this is how this screen should be rendered. This is the way that it's going to please most people, and you have the usual things you find in a banking app. You have the ability to see your balance, you see what are your savings accounts, and that's what we do every day. But now, you have this change that I'm talking about it. Computers can understand human language. So in the same way that this app has your bank credentials, go to the bank cloud and get the information, this is going to start to change. Here's how it's going to change when it's enabled by Gen AI. You're just going to ask the question. You just ask the question, what are your last transactions? And it tells us the last transactions. What is the progress? You just ask any question. You can even, if you feel that you want to see the app, the model can render the app for you. And if you want it different than the developer intended, you want a different color, the model is going to display the way you want it. And that's how I can show to you what happens when computers understand human language, enabled by AI at the edge, and started to change an app. A simple thing as a banking app becomes different. But I don't want to stop that. What else can this thing do? Think about this concept I used to see in the early days of smartphones. People talk about mashup of apps. You're buying something. You're going to be in a shopping app. And you're going to basically say, I like to pay this with a debit card. Do I have a balance? And the banking app will tell you here's your balance, and you can complete the purchase, or it can complete the purchase for you. It's a different experience on something that we use every day. You see like how the innovation is going to come with Gen AI. And it gets even better when you think about multimodal AI. Like I said, the computer can now, like a human, not only understand language, understand images. So think about this. You have a bill. You just get a bill. You get a picture of the bill, and you just tell the banking app to pay the bill and let you know when it's done. So this is a task we make it every day. So hopefully I was able to show you why it's so clear to us how mobile is going to change, experience is going to change, and we're just going to see a really revolution enabled by AI-first experiences. And I think that's a really exciting future we have in front of us. And that is the reason you see a number of companies now that look and believe in the future working with Qualcomm and working with Snapdragon. And I think as I go into this first part of my presentation, I'll bring some of those companies for you to see how they think about it and let them tell the story. The future mobile with AI, some of the experiences we now are going to enable in the car. But I want to go back to compute because there's a lot of excitement this year about what we're doing with compute, with X Elite, with Oryon, and with our partnership with Microsoft. We're creating a new generation of computing. Copilot Plus PCs, powered by Snapdragon, really pioneer the new generation of AI computing. PCs are ahead. You already have in the Copilot Plus PC an open platform that you can install new models and develop new experience, and that's what Microsoft's already doing. But besides the transition of computers to AI, there's something else we did in PC. We restored performance leadership to the Windows ecosystem. In Windows is now where you can find the fastest processors, the fastest laptops with the biggest battery life. And that it's about what the goal was for Snapdragon. Never thought possible, performance, AI experience, and battery life. And that's new. It's new relationship for Qualcomm, new partnerships, and we're excited to see the number of designs we have now in the hands of consumers and how consumers are actually reacting to this new technology. Okay, so now we're going to go to a fun part of the keynote. I promise at IFA that we'll have in the Snapdragon Summit the battle of the benchmarks. So that's what we're going to have right now. Yes. So let's talk about CPU performance. So I'm going to start with a recap, because look, I'll do my best to make it fun for all of you. It is really fun for Qualcomm to have this session of the presentation. So last year, we announced Qualcomm Oryon CPU. That was a very proud moment for our company. It's CPU designed by the ground up from Qualcomm to bring the performance that we believe Snapdragon deserves and the Snapdragon user deserves, especially as we think about not only entering, but with Microsoft, create a next generation of computing. Here's the recap of what we did. This is where we announced it at Computex. Leader in mobile computing, delivering against what was the best computing platform available from the incumbents. It delivered 51% faster CPU performance, and the competitor peak performance requiring 180% more power. This is what we did at Computex. If you remember that was the best at the time we launched that the existing incumbents from the computing index could do, both the AMD Ryzen 9 as the Intel Core Ultra 9. This is interesting because, as I said earlier, Qualcomm is changing. We're changing ourselves into a connected processing company, and we want to enter the industry with a bang. That's what we did. All right, so since we announced X Elite at IFA, we had a reaction, and new products got launched from the existing processor providers in the PC with the intent to show how they compare and stack up with Snapdragon X Elite. We were so happy at that point in time that we became the benchmark. So at IFA, we had Strix Point. They launched, we benchmarked it, and 12% faster CPU performance on Snapdragon X Elite, and the competitor peak performance requiring 43% more power. Then after that, there was the launch of Intel Lunar Lake, and they made a lot of claims about Lunar Lake performance. So I said, okay, at that time, we at IFA, we said, we need to wait for these devices to come in, so we're going to benchmark them, but at Snapdragon Summit, we're going to show. And I have a surprise for you. Not good enough. Snapdragon, still the king, delivers 10% faster CPU performance. Competitor peak performance requires 38% more power. So this is incredible, because the way we look at this, it's like there was a reaction. There was an acceleration of our product plans to compete with X Elite, but this is showing the power of Snapdragon performance. And we're very pleased that, as I said before, in compute, there's a new sheriff in town, and I think X Elite continue to deliver to that claim. But he gets better. He gets much better. So there were claims about battery life. So we were very puzzled about the claims of battery life because, when we did the math, it wasn't what we expected. So we got the devices and we checked. So this is the new section of the presentation that we talk about performance unplugged. So for you to have battery life performance, you have to unplug the devices. That's what we did. And what we actually saw, to achieve the battery life claims that were made, performance was brought down. And here's the actual results. When unplugged, competitors chose a lower performance to achieve the battery life claim. The laptop performance dropped by 45% and 30%. It's a big deal. No drop on Qualcomm. No drop on Snapdragon X Elite. Yes. And here's what actually looks like when you think about the performance unplugged. When you look about the choice made to throttle down the performance to get battery life, which then Snapdragon X Elite is 90% better. So my advice, I check it on the Guinness book. There is something called the world's longest power cord. So if you want to get one of those devices, get that, because you need to get the performance that you're paying for. But my advice is, let's go keep pushing the boundaries of Snapdragon. Let's make this exciting. And I think X Elite is just the beginning. So when we talk about the beginning, one of the things we're doing at this Snapdragon Summit, we're actually announcing the second generation of Qualcomm Oryon CPU. And I want you to think about the speed that we've been developing CPU technology. It was on Snapdragon Summit 1 year ago, we announced Oryon for the first time. Today, we're announcing the second generation Qualcomm Oryon CPU, which is going to be part of this great device we're going to announce for mobile. So like we have done last year, I would like to welcome on stage Gerard Williams, which is the head of our CPU design team, and he is an incredible team, is making this technology a reality. Gerard, please welcome on stage. Thank you very much for being here.
Oh, you're welcome.
Looking good, and your CPUs are looking incredible.
Thank you.
Yes. Look, I want you to tell, I think, the story about this journey that you have been within Qualcomm and the incredible things we're doing.
Okay, Cristiano. It's amazing to be back here in Maui with you guys. Last year was an exciting time to introduce the first generation Oryon CPU, but now we're introducing the second generation Oryon CPU. We've made pretty significant changes to this CPU by customizing it for the mobile platform. We've increased clock speeds pretty substantially, which you guys, I think, have read about, and you will see here in a little bit. We've actually also, while increasing those clock speeds, substantially reduced the power, and that was the motivation for mobile. You got to fit into a smaller form factor, smaller battery. All the while, the CPU team has been basically working on area as well. So we've introduced, this time, the most area-efficient performance core in the industry that you're going to see in a couple of later slides. We set the foundation for everyone that's coming, and we're going to raise the bar again. We're going to do it again and again. So everybody be ready. But Cristiano, I want to say thank you to everybody here. I want to say thank you to the Qualcomm engineering team for the work that they've done on delivering this incredible second-gen CPU.
No, it's really incredible. It's an exciting time for the company. I think we're very proud of what the Qualcomm team has been doing. Incredibly, happy with you and your team has been doing. One thing that you said to everyone about by making a smallest core. When you make the smallest core, that means you can pack more cores. And that's why we think about a lot of the performance we can get on multi-threaded, how we think about games and everything. And what I like about this is how fast we're moving. Like we're going to be announcing at the show 2 new products with Oryon. One they're going to see later, another one they're going to see tomorrow. And it's like we already announced Oryon first generation. We saw that with X Elites, with their best attempts to come back to us, that wasn't good enough. And then we already announced the second generation. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to, before you leave the stage, I was just going to tell everyone about the stuff that I had the benefit of seeing it, what you and your team are doing, which is going to be what's coming after second generation. Mm. So I'm going to tell you, book your tickets for Snapdragon Summit next year, because what we're going to do with next generation is going to be truly incredible. As I said, and as Gerard said, we're just starting, and we're going to make it fun, and we're going to bring excitement back to computing performance again across multiple industry. Gerard, thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
So I told you we're going to do the battle of the benchmarks, but now I want to talk about second generation or Oryon. So it's truly incredible when you look of how fast we're moving. It's easy for me to hear and tell you all, but there's so many things happening behind the scenes, incredible amount of engineering. And in a very short period of time, remember we just announced the first generation and X Elite, we're already working on the second generation. And look of the type of performance that we can deliver in the second generation. It's a new leap in performance. 30% faster CPU than we have than the first generation. And we have significant power savings. When you look at that, from one generation to the other. Remember I showed you what X Elite did versus the second generation of our competitors. Look at how fast we're moving, 30% in 57. And with that, I waited this whole year to get to the next slide. Like we did in PCs, we're now restoring leadership to the Android ecosystem. Performance leadership on processing is now back at the Android ecosystem. We're very happy that ability to show that is what Snapdragon is going to do. You stay tuned. We're going to have a lot of details of this Snapdragon that is packing this performance, as we announce the next Snapdragon for mobile. So with that, we decided to do something fun. So, because this was motivated by this whole conversation of unplugged performance. The next generation Qualcomm CPU, it's incredible performance, a very small package. That's a phone. The phone form factor, the phone battery life. And look at how it compares against the best that our PC competitors can do. 62% faster CPU performance. This is faster, the Intel that just got announced, and 190% more power. And that is in the phone form factor. And we said, okay, let's just finish this conversation by having some fun. Having some fun when you think about unplugged performance. So here's what we did. We just got a phone connected to the display and run the benchmark against the Lunar Lake, and it's 134% faster. And so... So we said we're going to do it, so I had to do it. That was the battle of the benchmarks. I think, in summary, X Elite is the performance leader for compute, and second generation Oryon, on what we're going to announce very shortly, is now the leader in mobile. And with that, I'm just going to finish by telling you that this is actually, besides being fun, it's exciting. Because Snapdragon is really redefining premium performance. And what Snapdragon has done in mobile, we're now bringing to other industries. So we have all this conversation. It's interesting to see a company, Qualcomm, that was a mobile company, being now the one to beat in processing performance. We like this. Consumers like this. I think the whole industry like this. And that's not only about CPU performance, also AI. We start talking about NPU before the term was popular. And I think that's the job of Snapdragon. That's what we're trying to do. Continue to push the boundaries of what's possible and have a story of premium performance across many industries. So as we get to the end of my keynote, I have reserved the best for last. And this is why people are really falling in love with Snapdragon. It's about the incredible devices that we can build with this technology. But you can only see that through in the hands of the incredible devices that our partners build. I wanted to introduce to stage my friend, my brother on this journey with Qualcomm, Alex Katouzin, which is going to tell you about the incredible things we're announcing right now. No.
Hello. Thank you, Cristiano. Hello, everyone. It's really great to be back here with you in Maui, and hello to all of you joining us online. Where are the insiders? 18 million strong. Awesome. We have a lot of exciting stuff to talk about, so let's get started. Our decades of experience in research and product development of high performance, low power cores have consistently resulted in highly optimized system solutions that power all the smart devices that people carry with them daily. AI, computing, connectivity. These are core technology pillars that are crucial to the intelligent computing revolution, and only Qualcomm can deliver best-in-class capabilities across all three. We also live in a multi-device world. It's a fact. Soon, your devices will understand you and anticipate your needs better than you might understand them. The human-to-machine interface is changing and becoming more intuitive and interactive. Our advanced system solutions are enabling consumers with great experiences. Today, we're going to show you how we're transforming what your devices can do across smartphones, PCs, tablets, XR, hearables, and wearables. You will have interactions that are more seamless, personalized, and more helpful than ever before. There's no better example of this than the Snadragon X Series. The consensus from everyone, reviewers, industry analysts, creators, and other users has been near unanimous. The inflection point for the PC market is absolutely clear. All mobile attributes that consumers value, high performance, multi-day battery life, on-device AI, great multimedia, thin form factor, are all necessary for the new AI PC era. And guess what? No one can do this better than Snapdragon. It's not enough for us to deliver incremental improvements year after year. We wanted to build something entirely new. When it launched earlier this year, Snadragon X Series introduced an NPU that was over 4 times more powerful than anything else on the market. It didn't just power new features. It created an entirely new category of PCs, the Copilot Plus AI PCs. It also introduced the Qualcomm Oryon CPU, which restored performance leadership back to the Windows PC. But we believe Oryon belongs in more than just a PC. As Cristiano mentioned, we are now on our second gen of the Oryon CPU. It's designed to transform one of the most crucial pieces of technology today, the smartphone. When you bring the power of this CPU to our leading heterogeneous architecture, combining it with Hexagon NPU, our Adreno GPU, and the Spectra ISP, you have a mobile platform that will change what's possible for the smartphone. In fact, Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 set the bar with over 100 plus commercial designs and some of the best performances consumers have ever seen. We never stop improving, which is why we're ready to take a big leap forward. Let's take a look. I'm very excited to introduce the Snapdragon 8 Elite. Thank you. As you can see, our top-tier Snapdragon 8 platform has a new name with a new visual design. The 8 Elite delivers industry-leading performance for the experiences that matter most. From the apps that you use every day, like browsing, entertainment, immersive gaming, to multimodal Gen AI and professional quality camera experiences. Let me tell you why 8 Elite is the best mobile platform ever produced. With Oryon introduced in our mobile roadmap, we are delivering industry-changing performance. The CPU is critical to manage system-wide processes. It executes instructions from apps, the operating system, and user inputs, ensuring smooth and fast performance. It runs complex applications like high-end games, video editing software, AR experiences, AI and machine learning, and security. Cristiano showed you earlier how our second-generation Oryon wins against competition in a CPU-intensive benchmark like Geekbench. Versus our 8 Gen 3 commercial phones, 8 Elite designs will deliver a massive uplift of 45% in both single and multi-threaded benchmarks, and 44% improvement in power efficiency. Against our Android competitors from last year, that gap is even larger. All of these benchmarks are done in a realistic environment with our reference designs, tested at room temperature, unlike others that run benchmarks in freezer environments to show performance gains. Let me show you another benchmark that truly measures CPU capability. It's called Speedometer, which measures everyday usage like web browsing and is an accurate gauge of user experience. Web browsing is one of the most widely used apps in any consumer device. It's a measure of user experience quality for many popular applications. It affects areas like page load, fast transitions, smooth scrolling, and back-end computation like just-in-time translation. It also affects everyday experiences such as search, shopping, researching and learning, as well as integrated experience within apps like WeChat. The performance gains with Oryon CPU on a Chrome browser is over 62% higher compared to 8 Gen 3 and leads the entire Android ecosystem. This is a multi-generational leap. You also get a 44% improvement in power efficiency. That's what sets Snapdragon apart. Performance per watt continues to be our sustained differentiation against everyone else. We will have a lot more detail on our CPU configuration at our deep dives with demos later today. Of course, we're not the only ones who are excited. Snapdragon consistently tops the charts when it comes to mobile gaming performance. But what's most important are the experiences. We want players to be fully immersed, where every detail is vivid, every movement is fluid, and every input is responsive. And gamers want this to last a long period of time with sustained performance. With Snapdragon 8 Elite, every core is working together. The Oryon CPU provides exceptional computational needs, such as game logic and AI, instruction processing, multitasking, and more. Our Adreno GPU delivers high-fidelity graphics, and our MPU offers smarter, faster, real-time interactions. Most, if not all, games utilize all parts of the SoC. We have been working closely with NetEase to take full advantage of Oryon and all the cores in its complex gaming scene. Let's take a look. There's a lot to be excited about when immersive gaming, but the CPU isn't the only component to get a design overhaul. Our industry-leading Adreno GPU has been redesigned to maximize both performance and efficiency, which is super crucial for mobile gaming. You will see a 40% boost in performance for graphics-intensive games, coupled with a 40% reduction in power consumption. This is a substantial improvement, but it gets even better. Ray tracing, a complex task for any GPU, sees a 35% increase in performance. These numbers are compared to commercial 8 Gen 3 smartphones, which were already the best performance per watt solutions in the industry. This is yet another testament to why Snapdragon continues to lead the mobile industry, pushing both performance and power efficiency. As you know, it's been a monumental year for AI. And with this rapidly evolving world of on-device AI, we've improved our Qualcomm AI engine to bring more intelligent computing to the palm of your hand. The newly architected Hexagon NPU delivers a 45% performance and 45% improvement in power over Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. Combined with this improved CPU and GPU, Snapdragon 8 Elite can dynamically manage AI workloads across these cores. Your smartphone assistant is already multimodal and agentic. It understands the world around you and your requests. This ensures it can handle your personal needs without you prompting other apps, and it can operate entirely on your device, keeping all transactions private and instantly responding. Let's see what our new AI assistant can do.
Thanks, Alex. I want to show you what we can do with the new Gen AI Assistant that runs completely on device, making it super fast and secure. Since it supports multimodality, it can see what you can see and help you with everyday tasks. Let's take this receipt, for example. Since I'm with a few of my colleagues, I can just ask the AI Assistant to split the bill and add a 20% tip. Hey, Assistant, can you please split the bill between 3 and add a 20% tip?
Done. It's $31.60 each. I have also saved this into your finance app. Great job. You're still on track to save $500 at the end of the year.
You both owe me $31.60.
With my smart glasses paired to my phone, I can get hands-free access to the same ultra-responsive and secure on-device AI assistant. This lets me ask questions about things and stay completely in the moment. Those are beautiful flowers. Hey, assistant, tell me about those flowers and their significance in the Hawaiian culture.
The flowers in this lei are orchids, specifically Dendrobium orchids. The lei is a profound symbol of Hawaiian culture, transcending a beautiful garland to represent meaningful connections, respect, and aloha.
Nice. It's amazing what you can do with an on-device AI assistant powered by Snapdragon. Back to you, Alex.
Yeah. 3160 must have been a light meal, I think. Calculating your payments was a great example, but it can easily extend into translation, exchange rate conversion, and other time-saving tasks. So either your phone or your smart glasses can assist you many times throughout the day. Now, it wouldn't be a true Snapdragon launch if we didn't talk about everyone's favorite passion point, the camera. Introducing our AI ISP, redesigned to work in tandem with the NPU to improve performance across the board. We've increased the ISP throughput by nearly 35%, and its power efficiency by up to 25%. This massive increase lets you record simultaneously from up to 3 48 megapixel sensors. Previously, the ISP would process the image and send it to the NPU for post-processing. Now, the pipeline is more tightly coupled. The NPU can access the raw native sensor data and implement real-time AI-based enhancements at 4K resolution, 60 frames per second. We've optimized the AI ISP to take incredible photos and videos of everything around you, even your pets. Let's bring up Shirley Shi to show you how this works. Shirley. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. We all love our pets, and we will do anything to capture the best moments of our furry companions. But taking pictures of fast-moving subjects has been the challenge. You can't always tell someone to sit still. Now, you don't have to. Thanks to ArcSoft, we're showcasing our new suite of pet photography features powered by our NPU. Your smartphone uses autofocus to track their eyes, so no matter how quickly they move, photos will be sharp and in focus. It also watches them and triggers a shutter at the exact moment they're looking at the camera, so that frame-worthy photo doesn't rely on your reaction time. Then, after the photo is taken, AI continues to work, using dual camera bokeh and intelligently enhancing those small details, transforming a good picture into a great photo. Watch this as we capture the perfect shot in what's otherwise an incredibly chaotic scene.
Thanks, Shirley. This is my friend Blue, and I want to show you just how easy it is to get an amazing action shot with our AI pet photography suite. When I hold up the toy, she'll look at the camera, and Snapdragon automatically triggers a burst of images. Then, our Hexagon NPU picks the best shot where Blue is looking at the camera or engaged in a great pose. And now we can bring out the detail of Blue's beautiful coat with the pet hair enhancement. Whether capturing an action shot or just trying to get a nice portrait, we all know how difficult it is to get a pet to sit still and look at the camera. Snapdragon 8 Elite takes care of all of that for you. Back to you, Shirley.
This is a perfect example of how AI can make it easier to take that perfect photo and elevate all that you share on social media. Back to you, Alex.
Shirley, thank you. Thank you so much. From gaming to photography and the endless possibilities of on-device AI, Snapdragon 8 Elite will unleash the best in your smartphone. Speaking of the best, there has been a massive wave of excitement and momentum around Snadragon X Series. As of last month, we launched 3 compute platforms, powering nearly 50 designs launched and in the pipeline across multiple tiers. Our winning combination of performance, battery life, and on-device AI has partners excited about the future of the PC. Let's take a look at what our partners have done in just 4 short months. Please.
There is no question that the AI PC revolution is here.
These were the first AI PCs with the advanced hardware and software.
It truly opens up unlimited possibilities in your life with the power of AI.
Under the hood, we have the Snapdragon X Plus processor, which delivers an incredible AI performance on the device.
Our AI experts are on hand early in the morning to ensure that our customers experience the very first Copilot Plus PCs as soon as possible.
Snapdragon X Elite with an NPU that's 2.5 times the tops of the MacBook Air, with its best-in-class power performance for running sustained AI workloads, enables Microsoft's advancement of Copilot Plus AI experiences.
Having that kind of AI power on the device is a really big deal. It means smarter, better experiences on the apps like Copilot Plus, accelerating creativity, collaboration, innovation, and ultimately productivity.
And I have to say that the Qualcomm team has delivered. They have delivered on the commitments they made on performance, battery.
We are so excited for customers to benefit from this innovation.
More and more developers are bringing their apps to Windows on Snapdragon. PC users spend 90% of the time using apps that are already native on Snapdragon X Series. So whether they're native or best-in-class emulated, users will have a great experience on the X Series. This includes native apps like Chrome, Google Drive, Photoshop, Lightroom, Express and NordVPNs, WhatsApp, Zoom, Slack, Spotify, and hundreds more. We're also working with partners like Ollama, LM Studio, Private LLM, Jipu, and others, who are extremely popular in the developer communities. And we're enabling them to run hundreds of LLMs for AI applications on device. Ollama and Private LLM can run an assortment of models, including Llama 3.2, Qwen, and Gemma 2 across PCs and smartphones. Some of these models are achieving 70+ tokens per second on our solutions, which is an extremely fast response time. You can experience this in the demo areas later today. Many of these apps are also embracing the on-device AI processing of Snapdragon. They are directly interfacing with our NPU through frameworks such as Onyx, DirectML, and our AI stack to ensure these experiences are performance and power optimized. Of course, there are even more AI-powered and native experiences coming soon to Snapdragon X Series, especially for creators. Let's have Nicole come up. PC gaming is another area where Snapdragon continues to gain momentum. We have 50 Snapdragon Copilot Plus PCs that are designed and targeted for maximum productivity throughout the day. However, we all know that users will spend time on casual entertainment, such as web browsing, which we have great performance in, video playback. We have over 22 hours of use on one battery charge, and of course, casual gaming. This means spending 30 to 60 minutes of gameplay at a time. We designed our graphics subsystem optimized for productivity profiles and casual gaming. We have 1,200 plus games that are running on Snapdragon, with more than 700 games running beyond 1080p 60 frames per second. With our latest GPU driver updates, we have even more games like the ones you see behind me, and we're adding titles continuously. We're showcasing these in the demo area today. Please go check them out. The excitement around Snapdragon X Series continues to grow as more OEMs, developers, and businesses choose to build their future on this platform. And we're not stopping there. As we look to the future, we continue to innovate in the areas of XR and spatial computing. We've been a leader in the XR space for over a decade now, and Snapdragon powers more than 80 XR devices. We have every major big tech OEM and content company creating and pushing XR forward with us. These devices play a pivotal role in areas such as social media, health and fitness, entertainment, productivity tools, and creator environments. AR glasses will become another smart device that people will carry with them because of their practicality and the ability to see what you see and hear what you hear. Our primary partner, Meta, has been in the forefront of driving the popularity of smart glasses. And here to talk about their latest products and vision for the future of this growing segment, I'd like to invite Alex Himmel, VP of Augmented Reality, to the stage. Alex, thank you for being here. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Hi, thanks for having me. I'm Alex Himmel. I lead wearables and augmented reality at Meta. We believe there's going to be a mobile platform after phones, and our vision for it puts people at the center, helping us be more present, connected, and empowered as we navigate the world. We've got one device in the market right now. That's the Ray-Ban Meta AI glasses. I'm wearing the new clear limited edition SKU. When we originally designed this product, it was meant to do two things. The first was audio. You could do phone calls, listen to music and podcasts, and the open-ear speaker design allows you to continue to hear the world around you rather than be disconnected from it. The second thing the glasses can do is take photos and videos. These are hands-free. They're moments you would have otherwise missed, and they're from a unique perspective. You can see here a collection of the over 100 million photos and videos that have been captured on the device to date. Here's one of my favorite captures. This is Anderson .Paak. The reel that he posted to Instagram this past month from a concert he performed at in California included both footage of him on stage as well as footage from his own eyes of what he saw while he was on stage and backstage. Do we have any sandwich lovers in the building? I am. I grew up working in the best deli in the world, Lane's Little Store in New York, and I recently purchased a meat slicer to add to my set of tools at home. If you follow me on Facebook, Instagram, or Threads, you can watch me making sandwiches and teaching my kids to trade. We're increasingly seeing people using the glasses for a third thing, which is AI. The glasses are a great AI device. They're comfortable, they're stylish, and as Alex said, they can see what you see and hear what you hear. But the thing about AI is that while it's infinitely capable, that can be daunting, as people often don't know where to start. So we've been focused on building end-to-end simple use cases for people to use. We announced at Connect a few weeks ago a few new features that will roll out before the end of the year. First is text actions, so you can look at a phone number and ask your glasses to call it. The second is reminders, so you can look at a parking garage and ask your glasses to remind you where you parked. And a third is video multimodal AI. This allows you to open a session where you're trying to perform a task and work with the AI to complete it, whether you're cooking a new recipe for the first time, changing a tire, or putting wax on a new surfboard. Now, I'm an engineer, and I can tell you that for any of these features to be possible, the critical thing is that the device needs to just work. And our Ray-Ban Meta AI glasses are powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon AR2 Gen 1 chip. We made another announcement at Connect a few weeks ago. We announced Orion. This is the second Orion that you're hearing about on stage. Meta's version of Orion is a device, our first pair of true augmented reality glasses that we've been working on for 10 years. And our vision for augmented reality is that you're looking at the physical world and you see digital content overlaid on top of it. So one day, you won't need this large display behind me to follow along the slides, and I won't need these small displays in front of me with speaker notes. And to make this possible, first, it has to be glasses. That's the only way to do true augmented reality. Those glasses have to have a really large field of view display. Orion has 70 degrees or more. And they need to be in a small and comfortable form factor. Second, we need a novel input and interaction paradigm. When you go from keyboards and mice on computers to touchscreens on phones to a new platform, you need something that's equally expressive and equally easy to use. And that's where the neural interface comes in with surface electromyography. And third, it needs to be wireless. So as you're on the go on mobile, wires don't get in the way. And the compute puck that you see here being put in a pocket is powered as well by a Qualcomm chip. We've also spent a lot of time on use cases. What will be useful to do with this new platform? One set of use cases is about connecting people in new ways. Imagine what it would be like to be able to play Pong or Jenga with a person who's physically in another state or another country in a shared space. Second is AI. What becomes possible with AI when you have a large display that overlays content on the world you're looking at? For example, when my wife sends me to a supermarket to remind me to get a type of vegetable that I've never heard of, AI can help me find that in a wall of vegetables. We have an ambitious roadmap ahead of us. We're going to continue to launch new styles so that people can continue to find devices that fit well, that look good on them, and that are at the right price point. We're going to continue to launch new software so that the device that you've already purchased gets more capable. And we're going to continue to launch new hardware where we're going to introduce net new capabilities to people. And we're going to partner on that journey. And my responsibilities recently expanded to include physical security and delivery of devices. So hit me up. Thank you.
Alex, awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. They're on building entirely new experiences across devices. With Snapdragon at the heart of the devices you use and rely on every day, we have a unique ability to be the orchestrator of your connected future. Your devices can do so much more if they work together in concert with another. Snapdragon solutions can facilitate between your personal preferences, local context, and the capabilities of the apps and services on your device, bringing in an agentic AI experience. By keeping information on the device as a personal knowledge graph, your devices will be more aware and responsive to your needs. Your smart glasses, smartwatch, smartphone, earbuds, and PC are contextually aware and understand your personal information. This information continues to build over time, and on-device AI makes perfect sense, and when necessary, we can even orchestrate between the device and the cloud. Let me give you an example of what will be possible. Let's say you're an avid runner, and you're traveling for work. Hey, I'd like to go on a 5-mile run tomorrow morning. Where should I go? By the way, I can't run at all, so where should I go? Your smartphone assistant can offer multiple routes based on your preference. During your run, your glasses know your location and pulls from your watch to display live pacing data, ensuring that you stay on your target heart rate zone. You can even use your glasses to take pictures, to share it, because it knows your personal contacts that live on your device. While all of this is happening, your smartphone is playing a custom playlist, streamed to your glasses with integrated earbuds. For you, you're just going on a great run. But underneath the surface, Snapdragon solutions are working across all your devices. It's pulling together their unique compute capabilities, your personal data, on-device AI models, and their connections to the cloud to give you this seamless, responsive, and intuitive experience. It's a unique capability that only Qualcomm can offer. Snapdragon is leading every performance metric, every experience category across all your smart devices. We're redefining the smartphone with our Snapdragon 8 Elite mobile platform. We're collaborating with manufacturers and developers for a new era of Windows AI PCs on Snadragon X Series. We're expanding the horizons of XR, transforming spatial computing into something more intuitive, assistive, and more powerful than ever before. But this is just the beginning. As you'll see tomorrow, our innovations reach far beyond the devices you hold, wear, and carry. We are powering the future. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you.
Our program will resume in 10 minutes. Once again, our program will resume in 10 minutes.